Compass podcast, where we point you towards the goods, the bads, and everything else about Disney. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Cannell, Griffy D-Pad, and with me as always is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing?
What did you just say?
Oh, didn't you know? We changed a lot of shit.
I mean, I did know that, but they might not.
Of all of this. What's up, folks? Welcome back.
Am I, though?
You might know the show as D plus Us. You might have listened to us. If you have listened to us before, thank you. Not sure why you would do that, but thanks for coming.
You do it because we're awesome and fun, and you like hanging out with awesome and fun people on the internet.
I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret here. D plus Us, very fun project. This is a very fun time. You know, Mitch and I getting to hang out and chat about things and whatnot. Tell you what though, the name D plus Us, not easy to find, and kind of flirting the line there when it comes to how similar to Disney's naming we were. So.
No, that's not it. It is really just, it's hard to find. And this will be better. And we hope you will find us in all the places that we are.
Do I need to
on the
remind
YouTubes
you that
and the ticket packs.
The origin of the name D plus Us was because we wanted to take Disney out of the name of the podcast.
Don't keep putting this on the internet. It's going to make you liable for things. Stop talking.
We changed it. We're fine. So yeah, welcome folks to the Kingdom Comics podcast. This is going to be our flagship show talking about all things Disney. Primarily, that will be reviews of movie, TV shows, video games, books, etc. We are going to be opening it up, though. We can now talk about so much more now that we're no longer a Disney Plus show. We can talk about the parks. We can talk about video games. We can talk about general topics we have wanted to discuss for a while. So we are very excited.
Will we do an episode on Batman Year One, the comic run? Probably, because it's a great book.
Maybe. Or maybe. But the point of this is that it opens us up. We can talk about so many different things now.
Can we do episodes on the Disney era Mighty Morphin or the Disney era Power Ranger seasons?
I don't care about Power Rangers.
They're all on YouTube. Literally every episode of Power Rangers is on YouTube.
Okay, you know what? Sure.
Except for like the most recent seasons. I think those are on Netflix.
I'm going to say yes, if only because I'm confused.
Okay. You want a video essay on the history of the Power Rangers and how it's moved from Saban to Disney, back to Saban, and then to Hasbro, and where? Oh man, I got you. I got you. What did I just commit to?
Something that's probably going to be very fun for you. Yeah, of course, folks, this is going to be the same old. It is still us. Still Mitch and I. We're still BSing about random shit. We are going to go on the weirdest tangents possible. It is still the same show, just with a fresh coat of paint and more leeway to do what we really want to be able to do.
Realistically, it's that the last episode we did under the old branding was just so horrifically catastrophic. We had a wonderful guest. Horrible content. We just had to burn it all to the ground and start from scratch.
It's about to make a joke at our guest's expense, but yeah, of course.
No, I'm the one he doesn't like. You got to make sure he still likes you, or he won't come talk to us.
Well, here's the secret, Mitch. I can make the worst jokes about him I want, and he still likes me.
He also will never listen to this.
Yeah, true. Anyways, folks, if you want more information about what this show is from now on, what our other shows are from now on, there is a video up all about this on our YouTube channel. Look for Kingdom Compass on YouTube. It is all there. It is all detailed out. What is our release schedule? What is our stuff like? Of course, the one thing we didn't mention there is podcast services. We are going to continue to be the same podcast services. One podcast for everything we put up. Just look for Kingdom Compass. All that said, God, I think that's the biggest piece of housekeeping we've ever had on our show.
I'm sorry if you stuck through this, and if you dropped off ahead of this, I don't blame you.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you for listening, or just jumping ahead.
That too.
Let's talk about
time
the
codes.
actual
Time codes would be good. I could start doing those.
Yeah, start actually telling people when things are.
Not doing that on this one, because we did not think about it until like 5 minutes into the recording.
Oh yeah, we're doing great. Let's talk about the actual thing we're here to talk about today, folks, and that is Eyes of Wakanda. Now, Marvel has been pumping out the animated stuff this year. We got
It's been a good year for animation.
And now we have this later in the year. We are getting Marvel Zombies. But we are not talking about that yet. We're talking today about this one, Eyes of Wakanda, directed primarily by, or actually entirely by Todd Harris and John Fang, both who are no stranger to Marvel. Both have been in the art department for quite a long time. Todd Harris has credits as far back as Thor Ragnarok. John, a seasoned director when it comes to animation, but especially superhero-esque animation, having directing credits on the Batman series in 2007, Generator Rex, as well as directing a couple of episodes here and there for the various seasons of Ben 10. Yes, Mitch, I told you it would come up.
Yeah.
These two were kind of the directors of this, but this was ultimately developed by Ryan Coogler. This was an idea we've known about for a while, right? Like they wanted to do this anthology series about Wakanda and about the War Dogs of Wakanda, and to actually finally see it was so exciting for me, and so disappointing that this is only 4 episodes long.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that was conceptualized and presented, I think, by Coogler and his production company back in 21,
Yeah, something like
if Wikipedia can be trusted. And it's gone through various stages of development where it was originally like a Wakanda drama for Disney Plus, and was it going to be live action? Was it going to be animated? And I think where we landed was a good start. I do hope that we see more of this, but I know how expensive animation can be, and how tough it can be to even just develop these 4 episodes, that I wouldn't be surprised if this is all we got. Although I love the idea of delving more into the world of Wakanda, just because there's so much to unwrap there in different eras as well, which I think this show does a great job of exploring, and we will see further explored in next year's Marvel 1943, The Rise of Hydra video game. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think Axis Animation is
Rise
the
of
name
Hydra. Yeah.
Axis Animation is the name of the animation studio behind this. They're a British animation studio. They've done a bunch of stuff. They did like short films for stuff like for a couple video games, particularly Infinity Blade. If you remember that game, which really feels like a deep cut
that
now.
game changed mobile gaming in general. Like that put mobile gaming on the map. The fact that it was an iOS exclusive, it was using all of the latest like physics engines and all this stuff. The lighting and the animation was fantastic. Really disappointed there isn't a way to play those games. And digital preservation is a thing, and it has not been a thing primarily on mobile. And that is maybe something else we can discuss in the future. Just the preservation of these mediums and where we'd like to see it go, because there's definitely some gaps there, especially on the gaming side. But I think across the board, it's something that you hope a service like Disney Plus can become the Disney Vault, which it has been to this point, except for all the content they just erased from the internet over time.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to shout out Axis specifically with this one because they have a very unique style. I think for this, we do have that 3D, the 3D here, but it's very much a hand painted style. I think this is the best looking any of the Marvel animation has looked so far. We had our issues with What If not always looking the best, but when it looks great, it looks great. And then Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is very fun. I very much love the style of it, but it can be grating at times. This, I love the entirety of this style the entire way through. I think it very much fit for the narrative that we're going for, and also harken back to a lot of what Ryan Coogler's goals have been with Black Panther, to very much be inspired by African or African American customs or artists. A couple of the noted inspirations here being Ernie Barnes and Dean Cornwell. I think it plays really well into the styles here. We get some really, really beautiful moments in this. One that particularly stands out to me in episode 1 of this beautiful underwater sequence. Like, I think that's the thing for animation that I love getting to talk about here, is you are not constrained to real life requirements. So you can make something incredibly mundane, like water, gorgeous. And this show does it so
One
far.
thing before, like, while we're giving Access their flowers, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the company actually shut down last year.
They did? I did not know that.
They went into administration July of 2024, laid off 162 staff, and it does look like former executives of Access Animation went on to form a new production studio, Zaratan, who I'm doing a little more research into at the moment.
The other studio, and I'm pretty sure this other studio is still around, but I'm going to quickly double check. Yeah,
Studio AKA is still around, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to shout out Studio AKA, who does the intro for this. And as a reminder, for God's sake, Marvel, if you ever give us an intro like you did with Secret Invasion again, when you can do stuff like this with actual production companies, you're fucking up.
Okay. Tangent. This past weekend was Fan Expo in Toronto. It's Toronto's largest comic convention, essentially. And one of their key sponsors, Bell Media, had a booth, and their booth was, let's create an avatar for you, and you prompt us with what, and you know exactly where I'm going with this. You give us what you want it to look like and a photo of you, and we will generate an avatar based on a persona.
Was this an Artist Alley?
Yes. Did you see
I
this?
remember seeing this, yeah. I saw this completely unrelated to any of you guys up there in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a whole like sit-in protest and everything. And it's just like, how narrow-minded do you need to be as a large, conglomerate organization? Because that's what Bell Media or Bell is in Canada. Think of it like your AT&T, Verizon, one of your big cell carriers or television. Like they do everything: telecom, television, phone, everything. To show up to a convention where there are artists who are selling their goods and doing a damn fine job of it. I've attended a couple of times. It's gotten a little too crowded over time, but I don't go. But like, you've got real fucking art sitting next to this monstrosity.
The other part that really upsets
and
me,
if you couldn't tell, I'm skirting around the idea that this is all AI generated, quote unquote, art, which is not art, from this multi-billion-dollar company that is paying for this space at a fan convention.
The thing that really upsets me is like, yeah, Artist Alley is a like vital part of how some of those artists make money. It's how many some of those artists survive. So to put that, not only to just have that exist, but to put it in Artist Alley as well, is just an insult.
And this is a trend we see in tech right now, where a lot of companies are leaning on these AI tools and laying off a bunch of people, or at the very least, not hiring junior people. Which, I mean, again, still tangent from all of this just because of the studio shutdown and how it relates back to Eyes of Wakanda. But like, you're seeing more and more of this in tech, in digital media, in art, in accounting, in marketing, all of these things. We're like, oh, we can downsize these teams, or we can stop staffing junior people coming right out of school or whatever, because we can get these tools to do some of what those people would be able to do at a fraction of the cost. And that is not at all the case. And it's something that I'm fighting back really hard against.
I will
because
say,
I'm seeing it across
not everything
everything.
is doom and gloom. We are starting to see that AI bubble pop a little bit. Places like Meta are having to greatly downsize their teams that they had working on these projects for AI specifically. So it's not all, we're not all totally in the shit can yet when it comes to AI, but it's still an issue, still massive. And I'm sure we're going to continue to talk about this, like, probably every week, honestly, because it always seems to fucking rear its head. But you know what's great, Mitch? Actual real animation, like this show.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
4 episodes.
Art and the way that it makes our lives better, and not this photo booth AI bullshit.
4 episodes across 4 different time periods. The first episode is incredibly nebulous on, like, what era it's supposed to be, but we know it is 1260 BC.
Yeah.
Episode 2, the middle of the Trojan War. Episode 3, in 1400. But let's be real here. The time of the the decade and timing of whatnot does not really matter for episode 3.
It's fairly self-contained.
And then episode 4 in 1896. Every one of these episodes kind of leading into the next one in a unique way. It was really fun.
And tying back into the core MCU in a really fun way.
Yeah. It was fun seeing like Noni pop up at the end of episode 2. Whatnot. But yeah, let's talk about them, like, just as a whole before we kind of jump into them episode by episode here. Mitch, what did you think of it?
I don't know what it is. I think it might honestly be my TV, because there's something about the way that Marvel has done animation that just doesn't look right. And this show continues that trend for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe if you come and visit, you can help me tweak my TV settings, because
you're gonna have like motion
there's just something
on.
I keep turning that shit off. I really like these stories. I don't like I like the stories they're telling. I like these as sort of like bite-sized chunks of this Wakandan history. I don't think it does enough to like it doesn't do enough to build, if that makes sense, right? They're like I said, they're fairly self-contained little micro. They almost feel like micro episodes, to be honest, of whatever this show is meaning to be. I like the stories being told, but it just doesn't feel like there's enough substance to them to really get me. You know, this isn't one of those things that's jumping to the top of my MCU rankings.
Oh yeah, I think this is solidly mid-tier MCU for me, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
mid-tier MCU is still very good. I really like this though, and the thing that I dislike about this show is when they try to bring it back and connect everything. I don't like that when it comes to anthology. It's something I talked about when we recorded the Predator Killer of Killers episode, where it's like, it makes sense in that why they brought it all together, because it's a movie. And that was very much the reasoning for it. Here, I almost wish they hadn't.
It like feels almost like the finale to What If Season 3.
Knowing that this is, and very much this is supposed to be anthology going into it, makes me much more appreciative of what it is, I think. I really like these first 3 episodes as they are, to be like, here is this story from the specific time. We are telling it here. There is, frankly, minimal character growth in these, but there doesn't really need to be. That's not the point. They're going to have this character growth in it. I think we see it the most in episode 2. I think episode 2 and 3 being the best episodes of this.
Fully agree. And I again, just to bring it back to that comparison, it feels like this wrapped up similarly to what we saw with all 3 seasons of What If, where they felt like there needed to be this connective tissue between either the episodes and the different anthology pieces of it, or the wider MCU. And I liked the premise, and I did with all of the seasons of What If as well. I liked the premise. I didn't love the execution.
Yeah, right? I don't mind the future stuff in episode 4 as well, and I don't mind its connective tissue to the rest of the MCU. What I didn't love was their need to be like, oh yeah, I went through all of these different timelines, all of these different events in history, and it's the first 3 episodes. First off, yeah. It feels a little cheap, frankly. It does feel to me like it cheapens the first 3 episodes as like, oh, it's only 3 episodes. That is one of my base issues here. I really wish this was an 8-episode series. I wish we had more time frames to jump into here, and really love it. Not just because I think it would have fleshed out that final episode a lot more, but frankly because the other 3 episodes and having those moments in there are really freaking good. Telling those stories is really great. Telling the story of Achilles and Memnon, who is a actual historical figure, like, yeah, and getting all of that and having it relate back to it in this way in this universe is fantastic. Having the Iron Fist pop up, animation officially giving more love to the Iron Fist than the MCU ever has. Let's be honest.
I mean, technically, it's the second Iron Fist we've seen in the MCU. The Netflix shows are canon.
Third, then, Iron Fist is in What If. In the Shang-Chi Western episode with Kate Bishop, the little kid.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right. Who plays that Iron Fist?
I forget the kid's name. But, like, I really, really like bits and pieces of this. And I think these first 3 episodes are really, really good. And episode 4 is solid. It's just not great. That said, a huge, huge shout out to Anika Noni Rose, who plays the Black Panther in that episode. Anika, the voice of Tiana. We will always stand her. And also, we really need to do a Princess and the Frog episode at some point.
I'd love to, because I honestly, that's such a special movie because it's the last 2D animation film that Walt Disney Animation's put out. But it's also one of those of like, I swear to God, Griffin, I've probably tried to watch that movie about 15 times, and I'm pretty sure I've fallen asleep every time. I don't think I've ever sat through one continuous viewing of that film.
I don't remember the last time I tried to watch it. I'm like 90% sure it was on an airplane, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's a weird movie just from a viewing perspective, at least for me and my history with it. So I would love to visit that.
Yeah, maybe I will soon. But yeah, I really, really love a lot of this. Even like the stuff with like realizing it's like, oh, this axe, which ends up going that moment with Killmonger in Black Panther 1, which I did not see that coming.
Oh, I did 1,000%. It's the same damn axe.
I totally forgot that it was an axe that he stole in the beginning of that movie.
Sounds like we got to go back and watch that movie because that's a great friggin' movie.
It's a great movie up until the third act.
Yeah, that final fight's not ideal. The third act, I think, is good. I don't like the way that. I don't mind the way it ends. I just don't like the way that the Killmonger fight looks. Personally,
yeah, I love
everything else. I
love
really
most
like.
of the movie. I just hated that thing that Marvel was doing for a little bit, where the villain is just the exact same power set as the hero, but evil.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, for me, the idea of that film is having the villain be this, reflection of the protagonist makes sense there. I think more so than anywhere else in the MCU. Like, I think that's the best it's been done that way.
Oh, I fully agree with you on that. It's just also that I think that is a... Well, you know what? We will fully talk about that either on a Black Panther episode or when we inevitably do an MCU ranking.
Hey, Ant, if you're listening, come and talk about Black Panther with us. That would be a fun one.
That would be fun. Yeah, I really like that. I think for me, part of the reason I really love the Trojan War episode is because I love Greek history. But also, aside from that, Memnon or Bakai, as his Wakanda name, I think it's a great character with that. It is the character that has the most character growth throughout the episode. And we kind of have a very similar realization throughout these first couple episodes, and even to a lesser extent in 3, of these war dogs, their life is not in Wakanda anymore.
No.
And
I would agree. I think the reason I think episode 2 for me is the best episode of this series is because it shows the most growth of character. I mean, episode 1 does as well. I just don't see as much of that in the latter 2 episodes. Actually, no, I kind of do. Now, this show's just good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's good. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, as far as, this is Marvel. Let's talk about fight scenes. There's not a bad fight scene in this show. I think
no.
There are very few fight scenes in episode 4 for the nature of what episode 4 is with this time travel narrative, and it's much more, hey, we're sneaking.
It's a heist more so than it is a fight.
It's a time heist. Funny how we've done that twice now.
Yeah, that is odd.
But like episode 1 being this, one person against an army. Episode 2, 2 people versus an army, and then eventually against each other.
Yeah, but that one person versus an army is friggin' badass. Like,
and then episode 3, one person against an army, but this time Wakanda's on the side of the army.
Yeah. Well,
There's a theme
kind of
here.
like 2v. It's more of a 2v1, but
No, I think like when it comes to combat, the Iron Fist stuff is the best, easily, and it needed to be.
1,000%, yeah. Just the yellow on purples provides such a beautiful visual contrast in this animation style.
And as fun and wonderful as the Iron Fist stuff is, I love how it plays into the rest of the Wakanda narrative of this show. Like Iron Fist, I think is the thing that's very much getting taken out of is the let's pull this out of context for this show, as the oh my god they did Iron Fist, but I think it plays really well into what this show is. It isn't just in there nilly willy to throw in a cameo.
Well, and it was a cameo that made sense within the context of the narrative that they were telling, because the Iron Fist, like the Black Panther, is a mantle. It's not a single person. It's not a single entity. So again, this could have been something like we got it with the fourth episode where you have the brother of the prince who will become the Black Panther. Like they could have, I know this was more of a focus on the War Dog story, but like you said, they could have padded this out with stories on the War Dogs, on the Dora, or more so on the Dora, like Dora focused. You could have had episodes on deserters and what that looks like in the like you could have had a deserter during the, I don't know, French Renaissance or the industrialization of the Western Hemisphere, whatever it might have been. And then you could have had episodes that focused on the Black Panther mantle and what that has meant through the eras.
Yeah, also, and also their relation to the War Dogs. I think the War Dogs...
Exactly.
Like, Wakanda in general is such an interesting story point for the MCU in a way that I do not think the MCU utilizes enough. For, incredibly obvious reasons, right? Like, the MCU very much, and, this is coming from us, is very much white-focused, and it's white executives making a lot of these decisions. It makes sense why they do what they do. I'm not saying it's right. It's very much
it's not right. Yeah, it's predictable. It doesn't lead to great storytelling. It's predictable. Mm-hmm. And I think stories like Black Panther, like Shang-Chi, like Eternals, and I will continue to say I love that movie because of what it does different from the rest of the MCU. And everyone else can hate on it, but this has to... Did we do an episode on the Eternals?
We did, yes. But we should do another one.
Should we do another one? Because I want to.
Another one.
Because it's such a good movie.
Hey, we've rebranded. We can do whatever we want.
Cats sleeping with dogs. The sky is falling. No, there are examples where the MCU goes outside of its comfort zone. We saw it most recently with some of the characterization in Ironheart too, right? Like that story. Also, executive produced by Ryan Coogler, so there's that connection there as well.
Maybe we should just have Kevin. You've done a great job. We're gonna swap you out for a bit.
Honestly, though, with as much Ryan Coogler as we've gotten with,
and I say that also knowing full well I don't want that for Ryan Coogler, just because I want him to make his own weird things. Like Sinners is so damn good. Like
I still gotta see that.
Movie of the year, man.
I still gotta see it. I don't love horror movies. That's the problem.
It's still movie of the year. Trust me.
Okay. But you even see that with taking. I don't want to get it wrong. I gotta look it up.
He's gonna look things up, and I'm gonna stop while he Googles things because
Destin Daniel Cretton stepping into Spider-Man: Brand New Day, right, and finding these creators that have a unique voice within the realm of the MCU and letting them go and tackle something new, something different.
I think that's where this shines.
So I'm really
exactly,
and I think that's where the MCU shines, is when it tries to be different from what it is, and I think that's looking at the way that James Gunn is setting up the DCU. That's why I'm so excited for what he's doing on the DC side of this non-existent spat or conflict or rivalry between Marvel and DC. Is
there's the sneeze.
Sorry, my allergies are really bad right now. I don't know if you can tell if you're watching the video. I'm sorry. He's already got, like, James Gunn has come out and said, like, a James Gunn movie is going to feel like a James Gunn movie. Peacemaker feels like a James Gunn production. but you're going to get something like Sandman or something else weird from a different creator, and it's going to feel unique to that creator, as opposed to having to fit this overarching, I want to say boilerplate or template or something to that effect, where the MCU has a certain style of film. And like you talked about it, where every villain for a while all were just mirrors of the heroes they were fighting, or they all had, really grounded stories until the point that they got to a whole bunch of CG and everything was on blue screen and it just didn't feel lived in or real.
To their
I'm
credit, to
excited to
Marvel's
see what
credit,
James Gunn does with his DCU, because it seems like they're going to go in a direction where no, there's going to be more creator focus as opposed to this large collaborative vision all leading to these, tentpole event film production,
to
whatever you
Marvel's
want to call
credit,
it.
I do think that they are learning that they need to be doing that as well. I think we are starting to see that incredibly slowly, especially with projects like Fantastic Four.
I know, but then you also get
But
the announcement that you're getting the Russo brothers back and Robert Downey Jr. to try to
and I
not
think that
save,
is
but bring the attention to
absolutely safe.
Doomsday and Secret Wars.
They don't think about this creatively. They think about this monetarily. They think of that saving shit.
They
Because
need
that's
the
gonna bring in money.
billion. They need the B in front of the box office number, not the M.
But I think you have situations
Hell,
where
they'd love to
like,
get to a T at some point, I'm sure.
like Thunderbolts does a very good job of taking that very familiar MCU vibe and changing it up and making it feel a little bit different. The Marvels feels different from any MCU movie like it. But I think the big thing for it, and where I have the most hope for the future of the MCU when it comes to those stylistic differences, is the shows. The shows feel
It's
very
the animation.
different. Well, not even the animation, but the animation especially your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in this. But like Daredevil, Born Again, Ironheart, Agatha All Along, even Loki, fuck season 1, Echo, What If, Secret Invasion. Hawkeye. They all have very
Champions,
different vibes.
which we will hopefully get.
Well, we'll see what that ends up being.
I want it so bad.
Yeah, but we know that those big stories are going to go towards movies now. And that's their.
I know.
I hope that they
Wonder Man looks like it's going to be something that is fun and different and unique within the way that the stories are being told in the MCU.
But even inside of that as well, Werewolf by Night, the Guardians Holiday Special, these special features.
The unannounced but very much happening Punisher special.
Is that unannounced? I feel like they've announced that they were doing that.
Disney's not acknowledged it. They've announced.
So they're doing the Wonder Man thing.
They're doing the Werewolf by Night thing.
Gotcha.
Right, where that wasn't confirmed until like they had casting, they had director, they had everything, rumored for like a year and a half, and then it just dropped like 3 months after they announced it.
I still want a full series about Elsa. Like, come on, please just give it to me. They're never going to, but give me a full Elsa Bloodstone series, just please. But like, I feel like if they take the learnings of that and of this show in particular, especially.
Okay, I do want to retcon what I said. In an interview, Brad Winderbaum did confirm that John Bernthal was developing a Marvel special presentation. Mm-hmm. So it'll be the third Marvel special presentation after Werewolf by Night and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
At the very least, I know we saw the set photos of him jumping off of the...
Oh, yeah, there's been hella leaks from that set.
Yeah. Anyways, bringing it back. Every time I say that, that's the Fireball song pops into my head. All of this, long rambling to just say, the fact that this is so tonally different is something that's beautiful. And it's really, really good. And the fact that all 4 episodes are tonally different from each other as well is like number 1 requirement for an anthology series is that each episode feels different, and I think they do a really good job with that.
Well, I think what's interesting here is it feels unique and focused. Again, the name Eyes of Wakanda. You focus on the War Dogs because they are literally the eyes of Wakanda outside of Wakanda. But it feels so unique within the scope of MCU animation, Marvel animation, of the MCU in general, but also it does feel distinctly Coogler-esque in this universe. And I say that with the utmost respect, where it feels like you could take Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Ironheart, and this and put them together, and they have a vibe, right? Like there are general vibes that are shared across all of these projects he's been involved with. And I really enjoy what he brings to each production that he's involved with inside and external to the MCU.
Yeah. Let's talk about these episodes a little bit in a little bit more detail because I think there's some really unique bits and pieces in here from all those 4 episodes. We're going to start with episode 1. And I want to shout out with these as well the head writers on each of these projects. Episode 1 is Into the Lion's Den. This is our 1260 BC episode, directed primarily by, or written primarily by Jeffrey Thorne. Jeffrey Thorne, who also has writing credits on, once again, Ben 10. Ben 10 just keep popping up today.
And again, I aged out of that. Like Ben 10 dropped, I want to say I was like 14. So at that point, it's like, ew.
He also has writing credits, though, on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Ultimate Spider-Man, and I think most interestingly for this, the 5th season of Avengers Assemble, as well as, alongside that, Black Panther's Quest.
I was going to say the 5th season was the one that was the new team, right?
Yes. Avengers Assemble is season 5, is about Black Panther.
Oh, also interestingly, wrote for the podcast series Black Panther: Sins of the King.
The podcast, okay, this is a total aside, and we'll get into the actual episode. Marvel's podcast game, fire.
I need to listen to some of these, man. Especially the Wolverine one.
The Wolverine
I've heard
one
really
is
good things about the Wolverine
amazing.
one.
They did an Old Man Hawkeye one as well. That was pretty
Ooh, I'm into that.
Yeah, the Marvel narrative podcasts, very, very good. Highly recommend. One of those things where it's like,
well, the other thing too, like you're here, you're listening to us ramble about this, but there are podcasts out there that are highly produced, highly entertaining. What Marvel's putting out, what DC has put out in the past. Again, these are all gaps in my podcast listening history, but I definitely want to get back to some of these stories as I ramble a bit so that I can pull things up. Like,
okay, so
again,
yeah, Marvel Wastelanders. I want to read off the 4 that they did here because they're all excellent. Even the ones I have, even the one I have not listened to, which is they did Marvel Wastelanders Hawkeye, which is the one that I will always recommend. They did Wastelanders Wolverine, Wastelanders Black Widow, and Wastelanders Star-Lord.
Damn.
They also had like a radio show that is Squirrel Girl. Squirrel
That
Girl,
sounds
the
like
unbeatable
fun.
radio show. They genuinely had, or then they also had Wolverine La Vache Noche. They have a lot of these projects here that are like really good that I feel like no one ever heard of.
Another one that I want to shout out just while we're in that vein, the Batman audio adventures.
Yeah.
Which I believe, to bring it back into the MCU connection, Batman's played by Jeffrey Wright, who actually appears in this show. Well, his character appears in this show. In episode 4, you do get the Watcher, who seems to be the Stan Lee cameo of Marvel Animation at this point.
Not just Marvel Animation,
but yeah, you've got
in Fantastic Four as well.
Yeah, that is true. So you got Jeffrey Wright as Batman, Chris Parnell narrates, Ike Barinholtz as Harvey Dent, Rosario Dawson's Catwoman, Brett Spiner as the Joker, Jason Sudeikis, Brooke Shields, Gillian Jacobs, John Leguizamo. I could keep going. This one's in the cast here is insane. Kenan Thompson, Bobby Moynihan.
Honestly, ever since I started commuting, I've been doing a lot more podcasts, and I listen to so much D&D so many actual play podcasts that I'm like, you think I would be listening to those regardless as well.
My phone? I'm gonna subscribe to some of these just so I have them to listen to. I'm actually off work right now. I took some parental
the irony
leave.
of the timing of this right now, right?
No, but I'm spending a lot of time at the cottage, so it's a 2-hour drive back and forth from home there. So there you go. I can get through a couple episodes that way.
Yeah.
Carmen's gotten kind of sick of the self-help audiobooks that I've been mainlining. So Batman, it's different.
Yeah, it's something new. You're welcome, Carmen. But But yeah, let's talk about episode 1 while you download those. Into the Lion's Den. This is following Noni in 1260 BC, as she is a former Dora Milaje who's being tasked with hunting down the lion and the Wakandan vibranium technology that he stole. I think this is a really great way to start things off, particularly in terms of like where we're going. This is kind of around the island of Crete. Again, 1260 BC, so names are names and very different than they are now. I really loved her in this role of explaining to us really what a war dog is, I think. No, you are so much more powerful than just being a Dora Milaje here. Even though the Dora Milaje, as we know from 2, or I guess 3 movies if you count Civil War, and even more if you count Infinity War and Game, whatever not, the Dora Milaje don't fuck around. Like, the fact that we are on a even more secretive group that are even more feared in terms of combat ability, like, love it. Absolutely love it. But seeing the brutality of the lion and how she combats against it, I think it's just such a great opener for this show. I love the moment when when the dude's like about to brand her, and she beats the shit out of him. Like he never had a chance. And getting into this fight between her and the lion, that is a fight, but it's also just an incredibly deep philosophical conversation about the role of the war dogs and whether or not they still have a home in Wakanda. Yeah. And then we're going to see that echo throughout the next 3 episodes. When a banger is a banger, it starts out strong. I don't know if that is anything, but take it as you will. Jumping now into episode 2 here. Legends and Lies, directed by Sean Fan, written by Mark Bernardin. Bringing up his work, previously the supervising producer on Star Trek Picard. Also part of the writing team. It comes back around. Part of the writing team.
It's goddamn Ben 10.
Nope. Part of the writing team on the Legends of Vox Machina. It comes back around to my shit. You really do. Maybe that's the episode. The thing I'll make you watch that I've seen.
That's the thing you're going to make me watch.
Here's the thing. It's like, Griffin's going to go on a Critical Role tangent here, folks. If you're not into Critical Role, go get into it, or I'm sorry. Whichever you want to be. Bitch, get back here. That's right, you have to listen to this.
Do I, though?
You do. Voxmach, we are getting a season soon for the Mighty Nine. I really think that is your place to jump in if you're interested in it. But Vox Machina, I think, is honestly some of the best fantasy animation that we've ever had. It is adult animation. It is incredibly focused on the fantasy aspect of Exandria. And these characters, it is accessible enough to everyone. It is so worth watching. I can't always recommend Critical Role to people because it's incredibly long. There is more hours of Critical Role than there are hours of One Piece.
I tried. I jumped into campaign 1 from the beginning, and there's so much content.
Campaign 1 is rough. You started at a rough point. But that's also because the beginning of campaign 1 has a player in it that eventually leaves, thank God. And he just sucks. But I'm not going to get into Critical Role drama on this show.
I feel like you've invaded my algorithms because I was watching a TikTok on Critical Role drama literally as we were sitting down recording.
Probably about the dude I'm talking about.
I don't even watch Critical Role.
There's also a lot of issues people have with Critical Role in the fact that they've just consistently been an all-white table for so long. When they have the ability to do more. Which is a very fair and reasonable consideration.
That is something that should be called out more often.
Yeah.
I say it's a show that is co-hosted by 2 white men.
Yeah, but we know where we fuck up.
We can call ourselves out. And yeah, exactly.
Bringing it back to Legends and Lies. It's Greek time. I love this shit. It's a Trojan War. Odysseus comes up with the idea of the Trojan horse in this episode. I did not see that coming.
I mean, I kind of did when they were going to talk about the Trojan War.
I just kind of figured that they were past that point. I kind of figured we were
most
there,
iconic
done that.
event of the Trojan War. Of course, it was going to happen here. Come on.
Well, no, it's more of a. When we got to this story, I figured they're not going to actually do the Trojan horse here. That will have already happened in the war. They're already past that point. Nope, this is the Siege of Troy. This is the Trojan horse. We get some great stuff here with Memnon. Memnon being probably my favorite character in this entire show.
Yeah.
His Wakanda name being Bakai, but he is referred to as Memnon for most of the show, and that is how
it's easier just to go with Memnon.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite one, easily. I love the tech that he uses here, like this vibranium, like, pager thing. To communicate. I love the switching up of the story of friendship here and what that does truly.
What I love about the tech too is Wakanda is so technologically advanced versus other countries, no matter the time period, right? So you even see here, they've got long range communication in a time where the most critical wartime innovation ever is bait and switch in a giant wooden horse, and they've got long range telecommunications.
This is the time where there's a legend about a man who ran thousands of miles to deliver a message. Like,
yeah.
Gotta love that Greek mythology knowledge. That's just stuck in my brain.
That's why we watch Percy Jackson.
Yeah, it is. And also a lot of repressed ADHD. Anyways, I really love this episode. I love how this starts off with them trying to invade Troy, failing. You have some of the other members of the war party here thinking that Memnon is a traitor. I love that he very much is an outsider within this, but he is Achilles' best friend. We have that ultimately leading to this betrayal moment on those stairs. Like, it's sad. You feel it. Yeah. It's very quick. It's almost a little too quick.
It is, but it's also a 30-minute animated episode. They had to get there in a reasonable period of time. So, like, I can excuse some of the brevity, at least in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Other little bits and pieces here of, seeing Paris and then Helen of Troy. Them fleeing, of course, in this. I love their fight. I love the Achilles and Memnon's fight. I think this is the most brutal of any of the fights because these two are so close.
I mean, it feels like any fight between brothers, right? Like, I don't want to bring it back. It kind of feels like that fight in the Eternals, right? Where we know where this build has been over centuries, and similarly, but different here, where we're looking at something that was centuries in the making with the formation of the War Dogs and then getting to this point, right? So that level of betrayal is something that's always interesting to see, especially when you've got a vested interest, and it's hard to invest in characters that you've literally just met. So the fact that they frame this in something that has historical context, has context in fiction outside of the scope of this show or this universe, was a really smart decision on their part.
Yeah, I do think that is why this is the most powerful episode. And for it to ultimately, the way that Memnon wins is by slicing Achilles' heel, slicing his Achilles. I think it's a great way to tie it back into that legend of Achilles and really play it home for what this story is. Especially with him going home, going back to Wakanda, and is still incredibly torn up over that. Like, he has the good luck charm he had gotten from Achilles, and he's just staring at it by that lake, right? Like, and then Noni coming to him is like, "Hey, yo, don't feel guilty. You were on a job." It's like, I can't.
And like, it doesn't, like, you're still human, right? At the end of the day.
Just such a great episode of all of this. Moving on to episode 3 here, Lost and Found, 1400 AD. this is the episode that you are expecting. This is the Iron Fist episode that a lot of people know. As far as the writing on this one was written primarily by Mark Bernardin, having written on, again, The Legend of Vox Machina, but also a couple of other projects that a lot of these folks have worked on. Star Trek Picard, Master of the Universe Revelations. Dude also is a journalist for the LA Times, Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Weekly. I'm trying to remember to actually call out these writers more often because they really deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard too when you get into a production like this. There are hundreds of people involved. Like, take the time. Don't just get to the end of the episode, hit next episode. Like, appreciate the length that the credits are for each of these productions, because without all of those voices, without all of those people contributing, we don't have the art that we get to consume fairly regularly. And so this is the craziest thing about the fact that I'm going to be
writer's room. That's the thing. This is a writer's room. These people that I am crediting here are the head writers for these episodes.
Yeah.
There's a whole team. Watch the credits. Don't just wait for the end credit scene for things. Watch the credits, because those people are amazing and deserve your support.
Well, it's just crazy. I'm thinking back to my own childhood where I had to learn. Okay, now we're gonna feel old as hell. I learned at the age of 3 how to use the VCR so I could watch my Sesame Street tapes on repeat. And now, by that age, my son is probably going to, depending on how much leeway we give him, know how to go into a TV app or an iPad or something and pull up infinite content instead of that one Sesame Street video on repeat. And of course, we'll find Bluey and we'll play that on repeat, and we'll all be better people for it. But it's just the idea that we can consume so much and appreciate the scope of how these things are produced and delivered to us in these various streaming platforms. It takes a village for every single minute of content that gets pushed out, and they're pushing out hours of this every week, and it's insane to think how much of that people are taking for granted, because it's just the way things are now, right?
Speaking of this, like the other writer I want to call out with all, the other writer I want to call out with a lot of this who is not like one of the head writers on this, is Matthew Chauncey, who wrote and did a lot of the writing for this, but was also a writer on What If and Miss Marvel. And you see a lot of this of like these people are coming back to Marvel time and time again because they're damn good at it. Mark Bernard.
Well, Marvel goes to them because they know they're damn good at what they're doing.
Oh yeah, like Mark Bernardin is also worked as a writer for 1943, Rise of Hydra, that we will be seeing hopefully next year. Like,
it's definitely going to be high up on my fantasy critic next year if it's still there.
It was on mine this year because I found a premonition was wrong.
You were quite wrong, but that's okay. We all make mistakes.
I had everyone in that league really concerned for about a week.
I picked Judas. A game we haven't heard of in 3 years?
Man, I can't wait for that inevitable moment in a few months where we're talking about Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Oh, can't wait. We're doing an episode on that for sure, and it's going to be such a blast.
That's one of those where it's like,
we still don't have a release date on that, though, which kind of worries me.
Yeah, we'll get it.
I know it's coming out this year, but I want to know when.
Bringing it back. Lost and Found.
Do you think we get a date at D23?
We definitely get a date the next time they show off that stuff. I just don't know if that's at D23.
Well, I'm thinking between now and end of year, you've got D23. You've probably got another. Well, you definitely have another Nintendo Direct because they have to announce the release date of Metroid and Hyrule Warriors. The only other thing then would be Game Awards right at the end of the year, and that would have to be like a shadow drop.
Cosmic Invasion was initially announced at a D23, so maybe.
I thought it was a Nintendo Direct.
Originally D23 2025.
Huh.
Or, no, that's this year.
That's this year.
Okay, I think Google might just be screwing me on this.
Looking here.
2019. They showed something off the Cosmic Invasion. It's like, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, I hope we see something in D23. I don't know if we will. But that's like...
Yeah, there's no specific games panel at D23 as far as I'm aware.
I know there's no games panel, but they might just pop things up. You never know.
Well, that's it. It might just be one of those things where it just kind of
like there's not
happens.
there's not a proper parks panel this year.
That's crazy to me.
Well, they announced all their shit last year, and they're kind of still working on it. So
That's true. Yeah, there aren't really dates other than Zootopia.
and they kind of announced all of that like last weekend. So for no
Yeah,
reason,
that's true.
I'm not sure why they did that. Anyways, yeah, we're going to Kunlun. We saw Kunlun in this.
Yeah, we did.
Nice to know that it looks that way in 1400 AD, and it will look exactly the same in like the 2000s. No, I love this episode. I love Basha in this.
So Cosmic Invasion was announced during a Nintendo Direct in March of this year. Sorry, I had to find it before.
I know it was gonna bug you.
Always does.
Yeah, Jock Coleman, the voice of Basha in this. I love a solid, charismatic, kind of doesn't really know his shit character.
It plays well off of the stoic, not rigidity, but the purpose-driven actions of the Iron Fist in this episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to
It's
talk
a
about
very, very nice dichotomy of styles and personalities.
that. Yes, but I thought you were going to talk about Ebo, his friend.
They're basically, yeah, they're very much mirror images of each other. The Iron Fist and Ebo.
Ebo very much voiced by Isaac Robinson Smith, very much the straight man here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get this shit done and figure shit out. I really love this episode. I love seeing the inner workings of the War Dogs here, and I think that's really fun seeing that. But obviously, the highlight of this episode is seeing the Iron Fist, seeing Jirani kick ass. You got a nice little ode in this episode as well to Black Panther 1, with them fighting on the train cars.
Yeah. Which weren't quite the same as they were in Black Panther 1, because again, it's like, what, a 900-year difference? No.
600?
700?
Somewhere between 6 and 700.
There are centuries between that and the next time we see them in the timeline, with that being in Black Panther. And there are slight differences. Like, it doesn't seem as advanced, but it's still pretty cool to see that, they were pretty far along even that long ago.
I mean, the dude takes off in a fucking, plane.
That is also
that
true.
alone. I love all of this, though.
Which she doesn't even bat an eye at. She just kind of yeah, I'm stowing away. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but it's going to happen.
She has the power of a mystical dragon that she had to fight in her fist. I think she's well over what random shit is going to be happening.
The world's a weird place. They get it.
This one's really great, though. I love that he has to take the head of the statue, and then she shows up and just pops the vibranium out of it.
It's like, this is all you wanted. You could have just asked.
Mm-hmm. I also love that their relationship here isn't on the outs. They do very clearly like each other.
Well, it's a period piece in that way as well, right? This conflict doesn't exist in modern day because it would have just been a conversation between two people. But the whole, the patriarchy and how that's kind of portrayed here between what Basha is trying to do and what Jirani is more than capable of doing, of just, having that conversation, having that come together moment that they have at the end of the episode. This could have been an email.
Yeah, he has that assumption here. And I think that's where a lot of great MCU stuff that we have loved throughout the years comes down to. This would have been solved in 5 minutes if you sat down and had a conversation.
It's character flaws, it's miscommunication, it's any number of MacGuffins leading us to very interesting moments that all could have been avoided with the slightest, ounce of common sense.
The other thing I really like about this is Basha and Ebo having to hide this situation from everybody else.
That was fun.
I think that plays into a lot of the comedy of this episode, and I think it's ultimately just fun and unique. And yeah, Iron Fist rocks. Give us more Iron Fist. Just Make it good. Don't make it Netflix. Make it good. Last episode here, episode 4, The Last Panther. Todd Harris, and coming back to the head writer on this one being Jeffrey Thorne. This one now finally in 1896. We see Kuda mentoring Prince Tafari on a mission here, and they steal a vibranium axe. On the way back, they get hit by this future shit, and future crazy things happen. Eventually, they have to take it back and do things, so we learn that that's the axe from Black Panther 1. I like the look of the future stuff. The actual vibes.
It was neat, yeah.
The futuristic things, very cool, very unique.
Technically, the furthest in the future we've seen of the Marvel universe to this point.
Yeah, seeing the Horde was very interesting. It was not something I would have expected to see.
Again, some interesting pulls in this show that just flush out the narrative that Coogler and team were building.
Mm-hmm. The Horde, for interest, for reference, folks, are deeply related to Celestials. So I'm kind of surprised that they went with that, with how dirty they did the Eternals. But alas. Again, a very fun episode. I just wish it didn't try to tie everything together. And of course, everything during the actual 1886 also looks fantastic and amazing. It's just a different vibe.
Yep. Well, and it's just a different type of narrative, right? It's a prove it story. It's the younger sibling syndrome. It's all of these kind of elements playing together in a really fun and interesting way. That really, other than needing the MacGuffin of save the future in the past, a la Days of Future Past, didn't really need that to tell an interesting and engaging story. But I like the idea of tying it back to Killmonger being this nexus event in the scheme of whatever this universe was. The branch in the timeline from the main MCU timeline that was caused here was he got to keep the axe, or that the axe, him getting the axe leads to all of these events and stuff, right? So, him not getting the axe leads to the Horde invading, which that seems like such a breadcrumb, and just the way that plays into timey-wimey bullshit is so fun. To just the what if scenarios there are kind of endless. So I like the idea of, okay, we got to leave this as it is because we need, Killmonger is so important to the core MCU timeline that change is enough to upset the balance of the history of the MCU.
I like that it really adds to just how important Killmonger was. Because, he is the focal point of Black Panther.
1,000%. He's the best part of that film and the best part of season 1 of What If, bar none. Or season 2? Was it season 2?
I don't remember which episode which. In What If. I think season 1. I think you're right. He is, because he betrays the group at the end. Yeah,
he's season 1, because season 2 is Strange Supreme, and then season 3 is What If.
Yeah.
It's The Watchers.
The Watchers.
Yeah.
Which was still fun. I think it's really
I didn't love it. Go listen to the episodes of the old named podcast if you want to hear what I thought about the end of that.
Oh, I think it's fun. I don't think it's good.
Fair enough.
Those are two very different things here.
I kind of want to go back and rewatch season 1. That season 1 was so good.
Season 1, I think, is the worst of the 3 seasons.
Nah, season 1 was so good. I didn't really love season 2 and 3.
I think
other than the Kahori episode.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I actually wanted to call out here. Who was it? One of the artists on something here was related to the Kahori book. But it was really just my excuse to shout out the Kahori one-shot that they did. I hope we see more of that character. Anyways, though, this episode, solid, good. I think the thing that I do really like about this episode is that, Kuda very much doubts Tafari here. Yeah. Tafari's actually weirdly good at this.
Yeah.
It's
in his blood, right?
It's a nice change of pace from the inept prince who can't do shit.
Again, it's something he's been trained for his entire life, so it's not surprising, but it's still interesting.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, that is all 4 episodes. I like that the show exists. That's our question, right? A lot of this, the time for a lot of this is, does this show
It's a
need
fun
to
time.
exist? And I think this show very much warrants its existence. I'm very happy that we have this. And I want more. We've seen a bunch of ideas.
We
They
spitballed a bunch here tonight.
we spitballed a bunch out, but like when they talked about this to the Hollywood Reporter, they threw out a bunch of ideas that they had for ideas like some interesting stuff there. Um, Stuff like looking through here, like the first Black Panther, um, seeing more of the Dora Milaje. Like, I think you could do a lot more with this, and I do hope we do see more of this. I hope we use animation as well to tell some more of these side stories within the MCU and kind of flesh out the universe, because that is a very wonderful power of animation.
I mean, at this point, we've got zombies. We've got Spider-Man season 2. We've got.
Are they doing that Ten Rings thing?
I thought that was going to be live action.
I mean, it's more of a. Is that still in production? Is my question.
Anything
here.
they have not talked about in more than 2 years, I assume, is not in production.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but this, like, I said, Wakanda, they went silent on for a while.
X-Men 97 season 2 is happening,
that's
right?
Yeah.
There's the new Disney Junior Iron Man and his awesome friends.
Man, you definitely are a father.
I'm on Wikipedia and definitely have watched a couple episodes of Spidey and his amazing friends. So,
Look, I just saw that Spidey and his Amazing Friends had a Jeff the Land Shark episode.
I saw that in a commercial and I forgot to message you about that.
I was like, yes, perfect. 10 out of 10. I love that Jeff the Land Shark has gotten so popular from Marvel Rivals that it pretty much makes inevitable.
I think this was before that, though.
I mean, I'm going to keep going with this. I love that Jeff has gotten so popular from Marvel Rivals that it essentially makes it inevitable for us to get a Gwenpool character in that game. So,
Griffin, by the time my son is 3, there will be 3 Marvel preschool series on Disney Junior / Disney Plus.
Spider-Man, Iron Man,
Avengers. Marvel's Avengers Mightiest Friends.
Mightiest Friends. Okay, that makes sense. That tracks.
There are going to be so many goddamn Marvel toys in this house, Griffin. It's going to be ridiculous.
That is the future, though, Mitch. That is not now. But we are going to wrap this episode up. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Check out our next episode about who knows what, who knows when. Check out all of our other stuff. Remember, folks, we have rebranded everything. So if you've gotten this far, thank you for listening. Go check out that if you're curious about other stuff. Like, subscribe, all of that jazz.
Did we do Thunderbolts? We did, right?
We did Thunderbolts, yeah.
Maybe we go back to Elio. We missed that.
Yeah, we have to do that, but we're waiting until it comes to streaming.
Yeah. Well, it's available to purchase. It's just not on Disney Plus yet.
It'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
Check out all of that stuff out, folks. But until next time, be good to each other and have a magical day.
Wakanda forever. Can I say that?